How goes the family? Welcome back to Larry's Anything Goes. Hopefully you guys are having an exceptional day because life is an exceptional thing. And with all the craziness that's going on in the world, I say we have to enjoy who we are, where we are, and enjoy life all at the same time. Today's subject matter, I'll basically be talking about, places that have the highest unemployment, but they can still have the highest equal poverty rate all at the same time. Now, we all know that there are a lot of productive cities out there in the United States of America where there are lots of high-paid employees with great benefits. However, there is unfortunately very big high poverty rates out there nowadays. Now, there are multiple reasons why the poverty rate and the homeless rate is starting to grow. But one of the biggest reasons why this is occurring is because lots of families are not economically on code. I always give respect to the immigrant community because the American mindset, I'm an American, proud to be one, but the American mindset is one thing: do for self, we're on our own, and that's that. With this mindset, though, it's kind of crippling a lot of working Americans. I can't speak for rich people, but it is kind of crippling working Americans because we all know that not everybody is going to be rich. We all know that everybody's not going to be an entrepreneur, but we do know that everybody can be an investor on some sort of level. And you're seeing that. I'll call out the community. You see that with the Hispanic community more than ever. And because of that, you're seeing them opening up all kinds of businesses, from landscaping to cleaning to construction to restaurants to property management companies, and the list goes on and on. Way more things that I can even imagine, okay? And you're seeing them buy loads and loads amounts of real estate all at the same time because they got that crazy thing called group economics. And somebody could be a janitor, somebody could be a landscaper, somebody could be a waiter or waitress, or working at the cleaners, but however, because their family is economically on code and they put their dollars together and they live together, it's because they can buy things. Before the recession, during the recession, and after the recession, we've seen this on more levels than ever. And because of that, no matter who the president is, you see economically being on code as a family, that they were able to purchase more assets. And it's just like, hey, when I read this article the other day, and I'm gonna have to definitely make a video about this, game recognizes game. When you see people putting their dollars together, working together, things can happen. The old saying is, by yourself you can go places, but with others you can go so far. And because of that, you're going to continue to see their success and not their demise, no matter who the president is or who runs Congress. So that's the mindset I think more people need to develop. Okay. I was just watching, a video the other day about people learning how to keep grandma and grandpa's house within the family for generations to come. Go back to the old days of that movie, Soul Food. The house, the family, the house that the kids grew up in, they kept it, which is a smart thing. It's the house that that their mother and father worked hard to get, and they did a good job of trying to, even when times got rough, keep that house in the family name, because that's considered an asset. So, and then meaning for the previous generations, worked very hard to pay off their homes, and they did save money because that was the mindset back then. You work hard to get a home, and you work hard to pay it off. But when they passed away, unfortunately, their assets are now, are not being passed down to the younger generations because of multiple reasons. One of the biggest reasons is that people are not sitting down with an attorney to ensure that their bank accounts, stocks and bonds, insurance policies, homes are legally left to one's family members or significant other, friends, etc. in the event someone dies or in the event someone becomes very ill and cannot make informed decisions for themselves. I'm not giving out legal advice here. I'm just giving my perspective in regards to what people should do, who they need to consult. People may not think that it's important, but for those of us who have seen what happens when someone passes away and they do not have their economic house in order from a legal perspective, then the remaining relatives, family members, friends, etc. will be financially in trouble, or whatever plans that the family or the people might have had go right down the drain because they did not spend the time and the money. And you have to spend time and you have to spend money with a legal professional to ensure that everything is in order. Some people are so cheap to the point that it's going to kill them. I'll leave it at that, because it's like I always say that nowadays the comfort zone is the death sentence. The comfort zone is the death sentence, and on so many levels. Okay, no matter what, no matter when it comes down to you, if you're comfortable at your job, if you're comfortable in your businesses go out of business because people get comfortable, and people can lose their job because they're so comfortable that they're not increasing their skill sets to remain undispensable. You know what I mean? To remain valuable all at the same time on all that good stuff. But anyways, no matter what people want to believe, that's just what it is. And one thing that no matter what people want to believe, life is like working out at the gym. If you do the same thing over and over again, you will get the same results every single time. Living in the DMV area, I am constantly around people who are in a just over broke category, having the job, J-O-B, which means a lot of people like having a high paying jobs, but if they lose their jobs today, they would most likely lose their big house and brand new car. And unfortunately, since so many people buy into this just over broke category, because I've talked to countless people who used to reside somewhere in the South or the Midwest or Northeast of the United States, and most of the time the answers are the same. The jobs are here. I get paid more for what I'm doing here than I would be living in the South or the Midwest. So then my thing is to challenge that and say, well, why don't you do a crazy thing called investing more? Why don't you do a crazy thing called teaming up with friends and family and purchase assets more? You know, if you're going to work a job, cool, because then you'll have more control over your economic life and not have to be stagnated in one area of the country, because this is the only place that you can get a high paying job at, and you're still going to be in the just over broke category and trying to get basically, you know, barely getting by because you got to either live below your way below your means if you even have the right mindset to do that, or you're in an overpriced house and an overpriced car, you try to be fancy when you're really not. But I leave that one alone. And I can say that because I'm from this area, born and raised, so I can talk all the trash I want. But anyways, I digress. And another thing is, if you're a person who's a federal employee, a person who that's a government contractor, if you're a person that's, you know, in the military, first, thank you for your services on all levels. But another thing is, and I'm not saying anything derogatory about any entity, because if a company goes out of business, that's just the cost of business. If a government shutdown happens again, that will affect your life. If your paycheck doesn't come in, and that's all you have to depend on, I would seriously reevaluate your lifestyle choices when it comes to how you make money. Just my personal opinion. I made an article last year about the two young ladies from the DMV area during the government shutdown created their own pie business, I believe, a cupcake business, yeah. And they flourished, and one actually ended up retiring earlier because she loves the business so much, and the other one is still working, and I think she only has a couple more years until she retires from the government to have her business, so she can spend more time with her business. You know what I mean? And it's a family-run business. So it's just that needs to be more of the mindset for working people. And I see it a lot, like I said, with Hispanics, Asians, you know, Middle Easterners, people from Africa, the Caribbean. They have that mindset that a job's not going to be forever for them. Okay, even if they work a job forever, they're going to have some sort of stake in real estate. They're going to have some sort of stake in a family business on some level, because that's more of a tangible asset than a job ever will be. Because you can pass down a house, you can pass down a business, but you can never pass down a job unless you own the business. Point blank and simple. Okay, and when I was younger, I truly understood. When I was in my early to mid 20s, coming to the conclusion that the DMV area is the only place in America with decent paying jobs. It's a great place to be when it comes to good paying jobs. Now, we all know that, but that's not true, depending on what skill set you have. It's only true for those who pigeonhole themselves into specific industries. People love to do that, and then they end up being miserable because they have no place to go. Okay, especially since critical thinking isn't one strong suit, and eliminating the follow leadership complex that the school system has ingrained in us is very, very easy. It is very easy to pigeonhole oneself, because if you just always believe what you're told. There's an abundance of poverty here in the DMV area because so many are dependent on their jobs and do a better job of forming sports clubs and parties and cookouts than they do forming businesses and investment teams with one another. Hey, I mess with people that own businesses. I mess with people that love to talk about investments, and like they love their job, but they love to invest at the same time. And it's like, for me, it's like I do both, but you gotta say to yourself, which one's it gonna be, one or the other, one or the other, and that's what it really boils down to, in my personal opinion. It's like, what is it gonna boil down for you? What are you truly trying to get out of life outside of just having a regular job? Be great at your job if you love your job. Nobody's downing anybody for having a job. It is all about having options, because your job might not be there one day. That's the mindset at least the millennial generation on out needs to have. I can't speak for previous generations because that was another time in America. But now, you have to have some sort of an investor slash business owning mindset, because if not, you could be just over broke, J-O-B. That's just what it is, and I know most people will be like, well, hey, Larry, you enjoy talking about business and different ways to create assets and investments because it's fun for you. It is. I'm a geek about business and investments and whatnot. It's like when people talk about football, I'd like talking about business. That's just, put it on that same pedestal. I get more excited about that than I ever would about football, because I always say the football team winning or losing has no significant impact on my life, but the value of my assets and investments going up have a big significance on my life. And the more that I get the more my life can change if I approach things in the right and specific manner. That's all I'm saying at the end of the day. Okay, that's all I'm saying. And then I'm like, hey, you're great at planning parties. You're great at get-togethers. So why not do the smart thing by, getting friends and families, together and start having event parties, like people would do back in college and whatnot. They have the fight parties, back to the pay-per-view days, game parties, video game parties, whatever. Have your own little events. Don't just be the person always at the party. Hey, if you like being at the party and, put in some serious work, that's the operative thing, putting in some work, and create your own parties that that people want to go to. And then, hey, you got people that doing the paint sip parties nowadays. They renting out spaces. That's what it's all about. Once again, that would require work and effort, and most people do not want to put in that kind of work and effort. Me, myself, I'm only drawn to the movers, the shakers, the money makers, and the asset creators. I am, and I repeat, I am highly allergic to stale, stagnated people, especially complainers and conventional people. You could be the most beautiful woman on the planet, but if you do not have qualities of a go-getter, then I am very unattracted to that. One thing is true, that there are poor people out there, and that is definitely unfortunate. And there will always be poor people out there. That is very unfortunate. But there are a lot of people with a poverty mindset. My friend Ronald always says, mindset is everything, because they choose being entertained more than having a vision. Being a creative person with a go-getter mindset and implementation makes you only want to be around those kinds of people. Okay, if you're binging on Netflix, guess what? Netflix is making money off of you binging on them. Remember that. If you're binging on ESPN, ESPN's making money on you binging on that. Remember that. That time could be spent doing something real constructive. But that's just my personal opinion. I'm not downing anybody for doing it, but I'm not spending hours to be entertained. I spend hours working, even when I get off my job. Okay, because that's how committed I am. But hey, everybody's different, But I don't understand the couch potatoes in 2020 as much as the cost of living is going up, no matter what state or city you live in. I don't understand the couch potatoes no more, because they are the main ones to complain about something. Oh man, the price of this, the price of that. Oh man. I'm in this specific bind and whatnot, but what are you doing with your free time when you're not at work? If you're taking care of your family, good. Okay, now what are you doing after that? Because there's plenty of people with families that work businesses and have a job. I know plenty of them. So no matter what part of the United States you live in, and who the president is, and who the governor or the mayor is, or who runs your Congress or your state legislatures, if you hang out with losers and remain the status quo, then that's exactly where your life will end up, the status quo, with all that you have is zero and no place to go. So that's all I can say about that. It's like it just depends on what kind of lifestyle you're living. And there's a lot of people that are not even in this category, as you see right here, because they are part of the movers and shakers and money makers and go-getters. Okay, they had that great complex going on. And I would hope that you would want to have that same complex going on as well. And if you don't want to be a business owner, that's fine. I respect it. But think about joining my Karatbars International family, okay? It's all about buying gold, referral marketing, no monthly fees. You sign up as an affiliate. And if you play the game right and get a significant amount of other affiliates to join your gold making investment team, then you could possibly live a lifestyle like this. But obviously you got to put it in the work. And like I said, if you sign up, I had a buddy of mine sign up today. He has a chance to change his life. It's about action though. I could talk all day till I'm blue in the face, but it's all about action. There's plenty of videos out there about the Karatbars International family. It's very simple. You purchase the various different packages, and then you refer other people. And like I said, you keep currency in your circle. And a beautiful thing is you can turn it into a part-time business without that much time to put in, and you can get a tax write-off at the same time, because it can be considered a home-based business. And if you do the research, there's going to be more and more home-based businesses, because I don't know about you all, but when tax season came, I had a great tax return. I was loving it, okay? And that's going to go back into my businesses. So anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Please give it a thumbs up. Please share. Definitely check out the online store. If not, sign up as a Karatbars affiliate with my Karatbars International family. It's free. You only have to pay money when you want to buy gold and buy various different packages, all right? So, hey, and like I said, if you sign up, I will definitely give you a phone call. We'll have a heart-to-heart, and we'll have a discussion to see how, not how you can change your life, not how I can change your life, how you can change your life if you want to. But it's all about putting in the work, family, all right? And remember, you can't get fired if you own a company. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys next time. And thanks again for all the support and the positive comments and the vibes. Take care.